In this video, we're doing maths, Eastern Cape, September 2024, paper 1. This is the paper 1. So this is basically an exam practice question. You're more than welcome to pause the video and attempt the problems on your own. Right, so the first question, which is 1.1.1, which is solve for x. Right? So we have 2x minus 4, x minus 1 is equals to 0. Now they say solve for x, so in this case the only thing we just have to do is to equate both of the variables to 0, which by variables I mean 2x minus 4 is equals to 0, or x minus 1 is equals to 0. And then since it's like this, 2x is equals to 4, and then x is equals to 2, and then in this side x is equals to positive 1. Good. Now 1.1.2, it states solve for x for 2x squared minus 3 open bracket x plus 2 close bracket is equals to 4, and then they give us a keyword correct to 2 decimal places. Now we know that if they say this, we're going to use the quadratic equation to solve it, right? Good. Now from there on, what we're going to do is then say 2x squared minus 3 x plus 2, which is equals to 4. Firstly, we have to simplify everything and put it in the correct order. And 3x minus 6, which is equals to 4. From there on, we're gonna subtract both sides by minus 4, and we're gonna get 6 minus 4, which is equals to 0. Then it's gonna be 2x squared minus 3x minus 10, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 0. And from there on, we can use the quadratic equation, since we know that x, the formula is plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Then from there on, we can, on the minus b, we can input the b value, which is the minus 3, and then say plus or minus the square root of which b value, then the a, which is 2, in this case it's not 1, and the minus 10, this is minus 10 by the way, and then divide all by 2a, of which our a is 2. Then after simplification, the answers you should get are 3.11 and minus 1.61. So these are the answers you should get. If you don't get these answers, please redo the problem. Alright, now coming to 1.1.3. Oh, where am I gonna? Okay. 1.1.3. It's an inequality type of a question. This is the one we know that we're gonna have to involve the inequalities to solve it. Right. So for 1.1.3, it states x squared plus 4x minus 21 is also equal to 0. Now for this one, you just have to factorize it straight. You can use a quadratic equation to factorize this, but please by all means show the factors in the correct form, like in this form of the brackets, if you're going to use the quadratic equation, if you can find the factors basically by looking at it. So for 21, what are the factors of 21? It's 7 and 3, right? So if we subtract 3 from 7, we get 4. So this means I can just say plus 7 and minus 3, and I multiply both of them, I get 21. Then remember that in order to write the equal sign, you have to say CV. Then you can say x plus 7 is equals to 0, or x minus 3 is equals to 0, and then my value here it's 3, and here it's minus 7. So from here on, I can now answer the full question, of which what is the interval of the answers for this question. So like I said in the beginning, or for those who just joined, we use the graphing method, whereby we take this x squared plus 4x minus 21 as f of x, and say f of x is less than or equal to 0. Then we're going to draw our graph here, and from our graph I'm going to draw a positive parabola because it's not negative here. You're just sketching it, you don't need to know the values, it's fine. And from there on, they say less than or equal to 0. So if it's less or equal to 0, this means it's below. This means our answer it's between. So therefore you're going to put your answer in this form. If it was on this side, you're going to say or. You're going to say x is equals to minus, you're going to say x is less than minus 7, or x is greater than 3 if it was on the sides. But in this case it is in between because it's less or equal to 0. By that it means the negative values which are less than 0, right? Good. Now coming to the next question, which is 1.1.4. now this question particularly, what is happening here is it's a square root type of a question. Now usually when I tell my students is, if you see a square root type of a question, you have to know you're going to have to select an answer. Now yes, in some cases the answers may also be the correct answer for that problem, but please always do that because you never know what may happen when you're going to be writing your November or your September or any type of examination that you'll be writing. So it states negative square root x minus 1 is equals to 3 minus 2x. Now like always, we have to remove the unknown factor, which is the square root here, but before, let's remove the minus, right? I think we should do that because we would be making our lives easy. So multiply both sides by the negative, and you should be left with the square root of x minus 1, which is equals to 2x minus 3. Right, then from there on you can square both sides, right? So after squaring both sides on this side, you'll be left with x minus 1, and then on the other side you would be left with 2x minus 3 and 2x minus 3. Right, so after simplification you should get 4x squared minus 12x then plus 9. Right, then from there on we're going to take the like terms to the other side, meaning that we're going to subtract both sides by x minus 1. Then you should be left with 4x squared minus 12x minus x plus 9 then plus 1, right, which is equals to 0. And from here on we should be having 4x squared minus 13x plus 10, which is equals to what? 0. Now there's no common factor here, so you're just going to have to factorize it straightforward, of which the factors here, it's 4x and x, and the factors inside, it's going to be 5 and 2. And afterwards we then equate both of these brackets or variables to 0, and then we're going to have 4x minus 5 is equals to 0, or x minus 2 is equals to 0. And then from here on we solve for x, and then I also read this, and my x value is 5 over 4, and on this side my x value is what? It's only 2. So we have to also check which value here is the correct answer. So if you take your calculator right now and you input 5 over 4 inside of here, you will not get the correct answer for both sides, because if you look at this, if you put in 5 over 4 minus 1 into the square root, the answers would not be equal to each other. But if you put in 2 here, they will be equal to each other, because 2 minus 1 is just 1, then minus 1, and here minus 1. So yeah, this means that this one is not the correct answer, and the correct answer is what? It's this one here. This is the correct answer. The x, what's this? The x minus the x is equals to 2, by the way, not the x minus 3. Now moving on to to the next question, right, which is simultaneous. No, 1.2. So they say solve simultaneously for x and y, which solving two variables, which once you get two versus you'll be solving 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then 6. Problems never end. Right, so it's gonna be 2x is equals to 1 minus y. So this is your first equation, and then from there on we have our second equation, which is this one. Alright, now we have to create our third equation. Now for our third equation, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this first one, since it's simple, doesn't have any squares or anything, and we're gonna take the negative, the one here, take it to the other side, so that we can be left by y only. So yeah, we're gonna have y is equals to 1 minus 2x, which is the third equation, right? So this is the third equation. So the reason why I choose y is because it doesn't have any coefficients and stuff. Because if it had 2 here, like here, it would cause a lot of problems. It will be solvable, but someone right now will attempt to divide both sides by 2 and say x is equals to 1 minus y divided by 2. So yeah, right, so from there on we're gonna sub 3 into 2, right? Wherever you see y, substitute 1 minus 2x. So it's gonna be, and please take note of this, many students make a mistake on this one. Check your signs, make sure you look at which sign, is it a positive or a negative, please. So it's gonna be x 1 minus 2x m minus x squared plus 1 minus 2x squared, which is equals to 5. Then we can start to simplify it. Let's make it simple for us. So we're gonna have here, we're gonna have x minus 2x squared minus x squared, and here obviously we're gonna open it up, expand it, right? And good. After you have expanded it like this, you should get 1 minus 4x and plus 4x squared, and I'm going to take this 5 and take it to the other side, and it's going to be a minus 5, it's going to be 0. And from here on, what will happen, we're going to try to simplify it. Since you see this and this are common in this one, so this is going to be x squared, because this is 4 and then this is 3, and then the x and the x go together, and then we're going to have x squared minus 3x, and then this and this, and then plus or minus 4, not plus, just equals to 0. Then you can factorize this one. The factors basically are 4 and 1, of which it's x minus 4, x plus 1. Right, now from there on we can equate both of them to 0 and say x is equals to 4 and x is equals to minus 1. Alright, then yeah, you're done with your first values of x. Now you're going to take your values of x and then input them inside of this, the first equation, but then let's use this one, the third equation, right? So we're going to find the y value. So we're going to say y is equals to 1 minus 2 and input 4, and then y, let me write here for 4, and then input 4, you should get the value of 8 and then minus 7. It's going to be minus 8, and then it's going to be plus 1, which is minus 7. And for minus 1, you can just say 1 minus 2 minus 1, and then y it's just going to be 3. And then that, ladies and gentlemen, it's the simultaneous. So just like that, we are done with the simultaneous, and we are now going to be moving on to the next question. So if you don't understand, please do inform me in the comments, right? So the next question, right, so the next question, it states, it's a 1.3, it states, given that f of x is equal to x squared plus 3x, and point number 2, then 2x minus open bracket the square bracket t of x close bracket 1 over 2 is equals to 0. And they say, for which values of k will the equation of f of minus x plus t of 2x over 4 equal to 0 when they have equal roots. So key point is here, equal roots. This means we're going to use an equal sign, right? So from there on, what will happen is we are going to first look at the second part of the 2x, right? So since we were given the 2x minus let me 2x minus open bracket t of x close bracket 1 over 2 is equals to 0. It's like this. So for starters, we're going to take the 2 to the other side, and we're going to have this. We're going to have negative t of x and minus 2x. So we're going to have the negative open bracket t of x close bracket 1 over 2, which is equals to minus 2x. Then multiply both sides by negative, then we are going to be left only with the what? With the positive values. The negative will be gone after multiplying both sides by the negative sign. So after multiplying both sides by the negative sign, we're going to then square both sides by 2, and we would be left with then t of x. And after, on this side, it's going to be 4x squared. Then since it's t of x is equals to 4x squared, we're going to substitute 2k into the value of x. So we're going to be left with 2k, which is equals to 2k squared. Right? Now after this, we are then going to look at this equation here and say f of minus x plus t of 2k over 4 is equals to 0. Right? And from there on, we're going to do some basic math by taking the x squared plus 3x. So since the f of x is x squared plus 3x, we're going to input the value of negative x. So negative x inside of x squared, it's just going to be what? It's just going to be x squared. Since a negative multiplied by a negative is just x squared. And then we're going to substitute the negative x into the 3x, and it's just going to be negative 3x. So it's going to be x squared minus 3x. Right, then from there on, we are going to look at this t of 2k, since it's equal to 4 open bracket 2k close bracket squared. So we're going to write 4 2k squared over 4, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 0. Then from there on, we are going to simplify it, and we would be left only with x squared minus 3x plus 2k squared. Now remember, it's squared, therefore it's going to be 4, this one. So we're going to have x squared minus 3x plus 4k, right? Squared is equals to 0. Good. Now after doing that, we are then going to apply what we said. They said it's going to be equal roots. We're using the discriminant, so our discriminant is going to be an equal sign, then b squared minus 4ac. Since it's an equal sign, you are allowed to say b squared minus 4ac is equals to what? 0. And then substitute the values of a and b and c into the respective points. So the b value, it's the minus 3 squared minus 4a, and then our a is just 1, and then we have 4k squared here, which is then equal to 0. And after simplifying this, Let me remove this thing here. Okay, so this is squared, by the way. After simplifying here, you're going to be left with 9 minus 16, because 4 times 4 it's going to be minus 16k squared, which is equals to 0. And from there on you can factorize it, and you would get 3 minus 4k and 3 plus 4k, which is then equal to 0. Equate both of them to 0, and we would find our values of k to be what? Our values of k would be 3 over 4, since this one's going to be on this side, and negative and negative cancel each other, then we'll be left with k is equals to 3 over 4, and then k is equals to what? It's equals to negative 3 over 4. Then just like that, we have answered the question whereby they wanted the values of k. So this brings the end to this problem. This was the question 1 of the Eastern Cape September 2024 question paper. So I'll see you in the next one.